The sitting rising test and the 10-second one-legged stance are powerful predictors. Scoring well on these assessments.
Adopt the sumo stance, wide and low. Feel the strength in your legs.
A healthy squat requires both mobility and stability. We use movements like the cat-cow and these hip rotations to prepare the joints.
Consistent, brisk walking significantly boosts cardiovascular health. Aim for 10,000 steps a day to unlock the science of longevity.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down some really fascinating research that links one single movement to how long you might live. I know, it sounds way too simple to be true, but the science here is, well, it's pretty compelling. So let's just put the big question out there right away. Can a single basic physical test, something you could probably do right now wherever you are, actually be a powerful predictor of your own mortality? It's a wild thought, but let's see where the data leads us. And this is exactly why we're talking about this. A major study found something that, honestly, it's staggering. People who scored the worst on this test had a 5.44 times, not percent, times, higher risk of dying from any cause compared to the top scores. Just let that sink in for a second. That is a massive, massive difference. So what is this test? It's called the Sitting Rising Test, or SRT for short. And its real power isn't in some complicated procedure. It's in its simplicity and what that simplicity secretly reveals about your body's overall condition. So, what are we actually doing here? The SRT is basically a checkup on your musculoskeletal fitness. At its core, it's all about one thing: your ability to sit down on the floor and then stand right back up, using as little help from your hands and knees as possible. And doing it couldn't be simpler. You just stand barefoot with a little clear space around you, then, in whatever way feels best, sit down on the floor, and then stand back up. The real key here is to only use the support you absolutely need. This isn't about speed, it's all about smooth, controlled movement. Okay, and the scoring is super straightforward. You start with a perfect 10, that's 5 points for the sitting part and 5 points for the rising part. Every single time you use a hand or a knee or your forearm for support, you lose 1 point. If you get a little wobbly or lose your balance, you lose half a point. The goal, of course, is to get as close to that perfect 10 as you can. Now, this chart from the study, this is what really drives the point home. Don't worry about all the technical stuff. Just look at the lines. That top black line, those are the people who scored really well, between an 8 and a 10. And that bottom red line, those are the people who scored 3 or less. The gap in survival rates over the 6 years of the study is just, wow, it's a crystal clear picture of this test's predictive power. But here's the best part, the most hopeful part. Even tiny improvements make a huge difference. The study found that for every single point you can add to your score, you see a 21% decrease in your risk of dying from any cause. I mean, if that's not a powerful incentive to practice getting up off the floor, I don't know what is. So what's the magic here? Why does this one simple movement tell us so much about our overall health? Well, the answer is this concept called functional fitness. You see, getting up and down off the floor isn't just one thing. It's a total body movement that tests all these crucial parts of your physical health at the same time. You need the muscle strength to push yourself up, the flexibility in your joints to move freely, the balance to stay steady, and the coordination to make it all happen smoothly. It's the whole package. And this isn't some brand new idea. Way back in 1941, a pioneer in physical fitness named T.K. Curitin put it perfectly. He said, "Old age is marked by stiffness in the joints and accompanying physical awkwardness." The sit-to-rise test is, really, a direct challenge to that natural decline. And this is so, so important. Because this isn't about being a bodybuilder or a marathon runner. This is about the stuff of life. It's about being able to get down on the floor to play with your kids or grandkids. It's about picking something up you dropped without a second thought. Ultimately, it's about holding onto your independence and your quality of life for as long as possible. Okay, so if we want to get better at this, if we want to improve our functional fitness and boost that SRT score, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with the foundation of pretty much every move you make, your core. Now, when most of us hear core, we immediately think of six-pack abs, right? But a really critical part of your deep core is this group of muscles called the pelvic floor. As you can see in this picture, it literally acts like a muscular hammock at the very base of your torso. It's your foundation. And this muscle group is doing some seriously heavy lifting. It's supporting your internal organs, it's providing absolutely crucial support for your spine, and yeah, it's also vital for bladder and bowel control. It's the true unsung hero of your torso. And it's not just about everyday health. Look at this quote from the South Australia Police Fitness Program. In high-stakes, high-pressure situations, they know that a strong, stable core is completely non-negotiable. It's the key to control, to power, to accuracy. That same principle applies to all of us, every single day. So, how do we build this foundational, functional strength? Well, here's the great news. You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need complicated equipment. It all comes down to practicing a few simple but incredibly powerful movements. Let's go back to that police fitness guide. One of their absolute cornerstone exercises is the squat. And it's no surprise why. Look what it does. It strengthens the exact muscles you need for the sit-to-rise test, your lower body and your core. And that directly improves your balance and stability. The squat is really just a practice run for getting up from a chair or getting up from the floor. And the absolute beauty of this exercise is how you can adapt it. Just using a chair for support, like you see here, makes the squat accessible to pretty much anyone at any fitness level. And for one last tip, let's take a look at Japan, a country known for its long-living population. What if I told you there's a 3-minute daily habit that millions of people there have been practicing for almost 100 years to stay fit and mobile? It's called Radio Taiso. It's a simple, gentle 3-minute exercise routine that's broadcast on the radio every single morning. And get this, look at the benefits. They're a perfect match for everything we've been talking about: strength, balance, and joint mobility. It's a simple, powerful habit for a long and healthy life. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. How do we actually build a routine that's going to support a long, healthy, independent life? And really, this is the key takeaway. The secret to a long, functional life isn't necessarily about punishing yourself with extreme workouts. It's about the consistency. It's about the daily practice of simple movements like squats or a routine like Radio Taiso that just maintain your body's fundamental ability to move with freedom and confidence. So we'll end with this thought. Just think of your body as the most complex, most important piece of equipment you will ever own. It's the only one you're ever going to get. So the real question is, are you...
Live fully. Thrive in midlife.